yeah. Oh, yeah. Going down. That's good. That is good.
Hey, what's up? What's good? What it do? What's a guan? What que tal? Que paso? What up with it? However you say it from wherever you're from. Thank you again for being here with us. This is another honor. I'm one half of the co-hosting team here, Steve, and this beautiful lady over here is who?
I'm Liz.
And this is Marriage for Grown Folks. All right? Yeah, a place that you can do blah, 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 blah. I'm sick of doing that. All right? This is a marriage pod. We're talking about things that we like based on being married. It ain't that deep. All right? But thank you for stopping by. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. I don't know where you're joining us, but whether it's in your car, in your living room, you in the shower listening or watching us at work, however you're doing it, man, I'm just glad you're here. And we'll make sure to make this kind of entertaining, sort of entertaining, while giving you some information. All right? All right?
All right.
Oh, also, like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. You know what I mean? Send us some feedback, some comments. You know what I mean? Once again, as I always say, I can take it. You know what I mean? You can talk trash about me, but watch your mouth when it comes to my wife. You understand? Mm-hmm. All right? You understand? So once again, yeah. So here we are. We had a good time last week. You know what I mean? Good time last week. Talking about some takeaways from being married 19 years. It is 19, right?
It will be on Monday.
Did I blow it?
No.
Oh, it'll be 19?
19 years on Monday.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
19 years on Monday. How's it like? What is it like being married to somebody for 19 years, ma'am?
It's long. Ooh, long.
Long. Now watch your mouth, Gina. Long.
No, I mean, it's great.
Okay.
It is not easy all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's...
Are you inferring that I'm not easy to get along with?
At times.
Did I make it tough for you?
At times, yes.
If I asked you again, would you marry me again?
Absolutely.
You would?
You are always my best yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I love you too. Let's have fun and get to it.
Let's go.
Once again, another podcast where I am super duper hungry.
And hoarse. Like, what's up with your voice?
You watch your mouth.
I'm
a working man. It's coaching season. All right, part of my voice. Mm-hmm. All right, give me some tea.
You want some of this tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't. No,
okay.
I don't. You got your lipstick on it though. It's kind of sexy. I kind of dig that.
You ready for temp check?
Temp check. Get to it, ma'am.
Okay, so it is. What song can you listen to on loop? Or songs.
What songs? There's a plethora of songs that I can listen to on loop. I want to go right now, Sir Devils or The Evils. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That one with the what you call a sample in it. So Sir Devils is dope. I could do that. Yeah, that's a nice groove. Stevie Wonder's Overjoyed and Michael Jackson's Human Nature.
Ooh.
I could put those on loop and go forever and find something new that I love. Yeah. How about you, ma'am?
Well, Sir is one of mine. So
absolutely.
Yes, The Recipe would probably be. That would probably be
let
one.
Let it go, girl. This ain't what you want, and
The saxophone.
Right.
The saxophone.
Mark, do y'all know about the saxophone? Y'all young bucks don't know nothing about the saxophone. The saxophone in the 80s let you know what time it was.
What time is that?
Oh, sexy time.
Mm-hmm. That would be a great segue.
It would be, but it ain't time yet.
Oh, shoot.
It ain't time.
Fine.
Right, it ain't time. It ain't time. So, yeah, The Recipe.
So The Recipe depends on how I'm feling, right? If I'm feeling like light and whatever, it would be The Recipe. It would be Jill Scott's Cross My Mind.
Yeah, how amazing.
That one.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
She be singing that song.
Yeah. Did we talk about you meeting Jill Scott?
We can.
No. Or not?
That was embarrassing.
Yeah, I was embarrassed for you.
I didn't know. Because
for you.
the problem is I don't know people when they're like, I mean, people are people, right? But when I see a celebrity in plain clothes and whatnot, unless I know for sure, you a person just like me.
Right.
So when I saw her, and you know my love for Jill Scott.
Right.
I had no idea. We were talking about children.
Mm-hmm. I just thought it was extremely humble of her. I seen what she was doing. She was not interested in being adored or, you know what I mean, or cooed over. So she directed her attention to our daughter, our gorgeous little daughter at the time. She's still beautiful. But she was just like, I have a son that's your age.
Jet. She said it.
What's his name?
Jet.
Jet. Yep. I have a son that's your age. And it was beautiful.
Yes.
You know, and I'm sitting here looking like this. Please don't embarrass me. Please, no, please.
And I
please.
did.
Please don't embarrass me.
And I did.
Please don't embarrass me. She was like, "You're Jill Scott."
But it wasn't
Jill Scott.
But I was staring at her. It was the thing. She looked like a cousin of mine. So I'm looking like.
Jill Scott is black. She from Philly, and she Jilly from Philly. She look like she one of our cousins. That's the whole beauty of the community of black folks.
It is.
We don't all look the same.
No,
but we all kinfolk.
She does look like a cousin of mine. So I'm looking at her like, oh my gosh, she has this uncanny resemblance to my cousin. I'm like, oh wait, and it clicked.
It clicked, and I could tell it clicked, and I was like, oh. She's
and you
either
like,
I was like, oh no.
You grabbed me.
Yep, like Liz, don't do something stupid. Don't tackle her. But no, she was very kind, very sweet to our daughter. Yeah, I dig that.
She was sweet to me too.
Absolutely.
She didn't shade me or anything after I told her I loved her 5 times.
I love you. I love you.
I was like, I love you.
I love you. I love you.
I love your music.
I love your music. Awesome. What are you reading?
I'm still reading the Let Them Theory.
Let Them Wait.
So last week we talked about Mel Robbins' new book, green cover, The Let Them Theory.
Yeah.
And I dug into it some, and I am taking my time with this one because it's really good.
Yeah.
Yes, it is really good. It's really about like letting go of control. You know, I'm a control freak.
Control.
And I have learned in this space with our girl that it's not okay to be the control freak that I am.
Yeah.
And so I have to. I keep getting my feelings hurt. But I'm finding myself like, let them, let me, because those are things that she says. The book's in parts. I'm not going to give you a lot of spoilers or anything, but it's in parts, and so it's like, let them, let me, and then we go through. I don't know because I'm not in part 3 yet, but there's another piece to it. But really, it is about like taking things away and allowing people to be who they are and not what you anticipate or you want them to be or the potential that you see. None of that. So it's a really good book. Yeah.
Okay. I think I might have to mess with that one. So I finished up Warrior of the Light, as I talked about last week. Green book is the follow-up to Alchemist Paulo Coelho. Fantastic. But I just started the Viola book that you got me. You suggested.
Yes.
And every now and again I'll get off the beaten path and I'll move into my get into my other bag when I want to learn about someone. And this is a page turner for real.
It's good, right?
It is a page turner, man. It's all there. All the goodies is there. You got to understand. I try to steer clear sometimes of the typical, the quintessential black story because I'm like, yo, we struggled. You know what I mean? And I've heard every story about, struggle and blah, 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 blah. But this one right here is unique in her space because it feels so familiar, right? It feels so familiar, but it also feels like a unique moment that she's trying to encapsulate that talks about, I think I know where she's going. I think I'm about 40 pages in, maybe chapter 3, when she talks about her sister, with no spoiler alerts, but her sister Diane, when sister Diane, comes to live with them, and and of course, they're right next to Pawtucket, and I went to school in Rhode Island. You know what I mean? So it's like it's familiar to me. But I love her mom telling her enough of my mom used to tell me the same thing. If you get your butt whooped out in the world, I'm gonna get you even worse. Go back out there, handle business. You understand? And don't come back until he's knocked out. Don't come back in here. I won't let you in, or you're gonna get a beating even worse than what you got out there. So I appreciate where her mom, you know what I mean? And I even appreciate her perspective of saying, my mom ain't got the time for us to be, to be fighting our battles. She's fighting her own stuff. So she don't got time for us, for her to come fight our battles as well. But no, I can tell it's a page turner. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad you suggested that. So what is the name of it? This is
Finding Me?
Finding Me. You're right. Viola Davis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really, really dope. Really, really dope.
Good.
Yeah. What you listening to, champ?
Nothing.
Nothing right now? Cool. I mean, there's times to just be quiet.
I'm not. I'm just kind of in my workout playlist bag. I'm not really listening to anything right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, in preparation for clips, which is a big deal for my demo. In preparation for clips, I'm listening to a lot of clips, and I didn't realize they were 15, 20 years ahead of their time, straight up and down. So that's what I'm prepping right now. Yeah.
Top down.
And,
Top down.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
I won't.
All right. So that's where I'm at. So we're transparent here, right? So we do a segment called Shooting It Straight. But the only issue with Shooting It Straight is that it takes time to get episodes out, man. This don't just happen in a vacuum and you just record it and get it out. You know what I mean? This ain't.
Not yet.
Yeah, we ain't
Once
there yet.
Once we get these ads up and
we get our ads
all
up
this
and
other
so
stuff,
on and so
then maybe.
Yeah. So the last thing that we want to do is be responding to things and then getting them to our viewers super duper late. That ain't a good look. So we're gonna, come back to that at another point in time, or maybe that segment will only be on Patreon. Ooh, put it behind a paywall, you know what I mean? And then you get some goodies. So we'll have our other segments, but we're going to try out another segment. As you know, that if you know me, I've been called an old man for years. My auntie Icy used to call me old man. Miss Heather, shout out to Heather Woodward, she always called me old man.
Gramps.
Gramps is what she called me.
Mm-hmm.
I was a 7-year-old boy who could make tea with the best of the old people. I'd never mind watching a little news. You know what I mean? I didn't mind that stuff. And then I was always talking like an old person. And I liked old people things. So, there it is. But now that I am legitimately older, I've got some gripes. And I'm not really sure what to call a segment, but I think I'm going to just call it Knock It Off. Knock it off. One of my favorite sayings, but I really mean that. So pardon me as I do a couple of rants. Now, you are more than welcome to respond, all right? You're more than welcome to serve and volley, but I think we'll call this segment Knock It Off. There's some things that really perturb me, really grind my gear, really tick me off, you know what I mean? And, really boil my crab, all right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to get some things off my chest, and every week I got a lot to get off because you live with me, and sometimes I get after it. So,
just as long as I'm never the topic.
No, I love you. Why would you ever be that? So knock it off, all right? So leggings, knock it off, right? Knock it off. Now, here's the deal about leggings, okay? As a man who likes a little more rump than others, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful time for men, you know what I mean? We don't have to work that hard to see some booty, some butt, some cheeks, all right? Whatever you call it. But nonetheless, some of these women are flagrantly out of bounds. Flagrantly out of bounds. And I'm not just talking about the big girls. You know what I mean? Because the seams are just holding on by a thread. And I'm not just talking about the big girls. I'm talking about some of these skinny chicks with the baggy leggings. Right?
Never seen that.
You never seen baggy leggings? Yes, you have. Knock it off. You've seen some baggy leggings. All right? So what are we doing? All right? Also, now some of the elderly women have stepped into they out here in these streets with these leggings on. And leggings tend to be a little bit more revealing. Dear old mama, I'm glad that you staying fit. I'm glad that you're about your business. But knock it off. Knock it off. I'm moving right along.
I'm nervous about this segment.
All right? Knock it off. So the drive-through, I'm jumping around a little bit.
It's fine.
We try our best to steer clear, Mark. All right, try our best to steer clear of fast food. It's not healthy. Sodium, high in sodium, preservatives, and all the bad stuff. But every now and again, when you got a family of 4 and you got things going on, you stop at a fast food joint. But at these fast food places, remember, they are designed to get your food to you as quickly as you can. right? And sometimes they even have the clocks. You ever seen the ones that are on the clock? There's a clock, right? KFC, they have a clock.
And they throw
right?
that thing out there to...
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Like, knock it off. So I only have 2 hands. I'm multitasking here. I'm trying my best to drive a vehicle, pay for the food, and put food somewhere safe so it don't mess up my car and spill all over the place. But
Or
here
get it
you
home.
are in a haste trying to get me the food fast, which I do want. But yet you're holding the bag of food, the drink, and everything, and I'm still trying to get my payment back into my wallet or my phone. Knock it off. It's how fast can I really move, right? Knock it off. You got it to me fast. Hoorah. Like, good job. But come on. You look goofy holding it there. And I feel like a goof trying to, now I'm dropping my debit card all over the place and my phone, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
This
is
happened
madness.
to you recently, huh?
Absolutely. Chick-fil-A, knock it off. Like, thank you for being fast, but I only have 2 hands. I'm driving a vehicle. All right, I got to keep moving.
No. Can I just like
Please
jump in? Okay, so I asked them why I know it's fast food and why they have to move so quickly because there's sometimes a clock. You've noticed that? Like there's
I made mention of it.
Right. So the clock is there. It's for sales. They've got to get as many cars out, and if they get them out at a certain amount of time, they get like bonuses in their check. That's why they're trying to move it. They get like
it makes sense. I get it. I used to work at Burger King. I understand. Get the food fast, but I got 2 hands, and I'm trying to operate a motored vehicle.
I mean,
sometimes
they ask you if you could use a holder. Do you want a holder or not? They ask you.
I'm speaking specifically about trying to pay. Like, and now you're giving me food, a receipt, and I'm just like, I haven't put my payment isn't back. And especially if you're using cash, now they're dropping cash on you, a receipt and food. I'm like, bro, I only have 2 hands. I appreciate the fast food, all right? But give me a second here. Knock it off.
The let them theory would tell you to let them and take your time.
Let them wait.
Let them wait.
I'm talking to my son. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm moving right along.
Go for it.
All right.
This is good.
So that was my drive-through rant. All right. I'm going to knock this out. I don't care if you like me. My wife does. It was brought to my attention that the OKC Hoopers, 7 out of the top 8.
Ooh.
7 out of the top 8 of these players are married to white girls. I am not a racist. Not a racist. Okay. Love who you love. All right. I get it. But there is obviously a correlation between athletes and white girls, specifically black men and white girls. Marry who you want. Marry, do your thing, love. But come on, bro. 7 out of 8? 7 out of 8, that's a very high number. So I'm starting to wonder whether it's culture, whether it's like just a piece of what comes with being a millionaire young person. Is it social media? Is it a community thing? Is it, I don't know. Is it taboo, you know, because it was taboo when you're younger? Did you go to school with all white people? I don't know what it is. All I'm saying is 7 out of 8 is a big number. And you know who got the black chick on OKC?
Who?
Who you think? Think about it. Lou Dort.
Who?
The defender with the locks. He's a big, strong dude. You just knew he was with a sister. You just knew my man Lou had him a chocolate sister.
They're all young.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Didn't you say something about them being extremely young?
Extremely young. They ain't know what to do with the alcohol.
So, right. They didn't know how to like pop the champagne or whatever it was.
Matter of fact, one of the dudes said, I don't even drink. That's my first time ever taking a drink.
Sleepy Eyes, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's his name?
That's Williams.
Okay.
That's Jalen.
That's his name?
Yeah. Actually, they got 2 Jalen Williams on the roster. Yeah, but the one that can hoop, that can really go, he tough.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, 7 out of 8. I'm just saying. So
it sounds like you could like ding
all
of the things that you said. Is it because
feels like,
of
yeah, right?
Is it this?
Is it this? Is it that?
Ding?
Is it that? I think it's a part of the culture now. Like these dudes really chasing the ghost of Kim Kardashian. But I'm moving right along.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, does Alex Caruso get a pass?
My guy, Alex Caruso, he gets a pass.
Fair.
And moving right along, staying on the basketball side. As you know, I coach, right? And recently we had the Calil Live preview that we went to, and we showed up and showed out. I was so happy for my guys. Yay! Clap. Insert claps here. But I was reminded immediately of one of the things that drives me absolutely insane. All right? $20 to park is crazy.
Every day?
$20 to park to go watch 15-year-olds is madness. Not to mention that there's an entry fee if you're a parent, right? For the weekend. They give you a wristband like you go into the club. They don't give you no drinks. Then you got to pay for the food that's there. And they might even go as far as to say you can't even bring outside food here, right? But all I'm saying is $20 to park. I expect that living downtown LA to go to a Laker game or an event at Nokia or Staples or something like that. That makes sense. That's fair. Big city living.
It's a one-time.
But $20.
I mean, a one-time thing for the event. Like the event is one time, so you're paying for it one time. Right.
See?
Yes.
I can that justifiably that makes sense in my mind. But $20 for 14, 15, 16-year-old kids? Knock it off.
And it's a tournament, so it's how many days of the weekend?
Knock it off. Some start on Friday nights and go Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Knock it off.
Right.
Knock it off. So I know I sound like an angry old man. I wanted to get some rants, and I got one more, and I'm going to leave people alone. I just found out that the 405 will be having some type of what's the word?
It's a project.
It's a project. It's a 4-year project. I'll say it again. The 405 in Los Angeles is going to have a 4-year project. They'll be shutting down one lane every night, I believe Monday through Friday from 9 to whatever. Now, I do appreciate the fact that they're going at night. I appreciate that. I do appreciate the fact that it's only one lane that they're shutting down. I do appreciate the fact that we know from about Skirball to about Ventura, it does get kind of sketchy. The road is kind of funky. I get that. So you don't want no liabilities, no incidents like that. But fam, 405 shutting down for 4 years, knock it off. This got to get this done in 90 days.
Oh, impossible.
Get this done by the end of the summer. Knock it off.
4 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That's a long time.
You can graduate in 4 years.
I mean,
come
you should,
on.
right? From high school.
Right, yeah, you should. Right. But come on, 4 years. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. That's all I'm saying. So, that's my old man rant. You know what I mean? I appreciate you hearing me out. This might be a segment that y'all might like or you might not like. I hope I'm not.
He's got lots of gripes. So.
I got gripes, man.
Just a crotchety old man.
Did you call me a crotchety old man? Spell crotchety. Spell crotchety. Is that an SAT word or ACT word?
It's everybody know what it means. Okay,
it's culturally biased. That's funny. That's funny. That's knock it off. All right, if you like knock it off, let us know in the comments. Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Knock it off. All right. So let's have a little fun today.
Oh, that was fun.
Okay. All right.
That was fun.
So maybe we'll keep it. You know what I mean? It happened in live time. Popped in my head the other day. And believe me, I got a million of them. So we're talking about sex today.
We are.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. I don't know how you
showing our age.
Showing our age.
For real.
Yeah. I do have an old Salt and Pepper CD. That's Baby Mama's. Mark, you ever seen Baby Mama? Knock it off, Mark.
Tina Fey.
Yes. And Amy
Poehler.
They are perfect together. They are a match made in heaven. I love them. Anything they put out, I'm watching. I am watching. But Baby Mama, there's a part where
they go to the club.
That's when they was when she came to the house.
When she was doing karaoke.
No, that's when she came to the house with her boyfriend for the first time, and he was kind of walking around. He said, "You don't get down with any rap."
Oh, right.
And she was like, "Not really, but I do have an old Salt and Pepper CD in there somewhere." So, Baby Mama, if you ain't never seen that, you missing out on something good. Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are hilarious. are hilarious. So I wanted to read something real quick just to lay this out. You know what I mean? We tried our best not to oversell this one because it just happens. We got a ton of questions and a ton of things that we can get at. But I wanted to read this real quick, and I wanted to just lay down, just prime it real quick. The statement couples think in pictures but communicate in words. Have you ever heard that before? Couples think in pictures but communicate in words. And I think that could go a lot of ways. So the statement couples think in pictures but communicate in words highlights a common discrepancy between how individuals process information internally and how they express it internally. While people often visualize concepts and experiences, they rely on verbal language to convey those thoughts to others, which can lead to communication challenges. This difference in processing can result in misunderstandings, especially in close relationships where shared understanding is crucial. And I wanted to read that because I said, wow, extremely informative, but also covers a lot of ground. It could be covering not just sex for a relationship, but anything that we talk about. Communication, trust, finances, all of these things. And as I read it, something popped in my head, Elizabeth.
Okay.
We're talking about sex, but at the end of the day, the goal should be to operate in a very high level of intimacy, doing anything that you do with your companion, your spouse, your partner, your husband, wife. So let's let that lead us into sex. I believe that. I believe that you and I attempt to work at a very high level or operate at or vibrate high when it comes to everything, whether we're going out to eat, whether we're raising these babies, you know what I mean, whether we cussing somebody out together like we did at Whole Foods a couple years ago, whether we're preparing to go on vacation or something like that, or we're entering a venture together like we're doing with this. And I think that offers a level of intimacy. And I think we try to do it at a high level. So why would sex be any different?
Sure. Agreed. Yes.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Definitely. So, okay. So, as he mentioned, we're going to be talking about sex today.
Doing the booty. Smashing.
I don't do that.
You don't smash? You got 2 kids. You got 2 kids, champ. Yeah, my wife is a prude, so don't worry about it.
I am not.
Don't worry about it.
I am not.
You just said you were. We have it on wax.
Did I say? Well, because my coach would tell me not to say that. What she would tell me to say is that I'm still working on that piece. I'm healing some things. I think I'm saying this right, Coach Stephanie?
She's not here to help you, champion.
No.
Yeah.
So this topic does make me a little uncomfortable.
A little squeamish?
Not a little, a lot uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, and I do want to put that out there because I just have a hard time talking about those things, probably from childhood. And yeah, probably.
Well, what did Lupe Fiasco say? Where should we start? Let's start at the beginning. How do you believe you arrived at such a feeling about sex? What happened in your childhood that made you squeamish? Look at your body language, killer. Look at your body language.
I'm chilly.
You okay?
No.
You good?
No, I'm actually really hot right now.
Oh, you really hot? Well, I'll start then. I'll start because I like sex. I do. I think it's awesome. I think a lot of people think it's awesome. Matter of fact, we're all here because somebody likes sex. So I don't understand why it's so hard to talk about. Everyone who's watching right now, knock it off. Your mother, your father, somebody in your family. Matter of fact, probably all of them.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like sex. What was the movie that we watched? Slim and Queen and Slim, when he was talking about his the conversation he had with his grandmother, I believe, and he was like, "Grandma, how are babies made?" And she finally just said, "Smashing." She ain't used that word, smashing, baby. Like she was just up front with it. So, okay, but I will say this: as a boy, we know that it's different. You know what I mean? Boys and girls and sex, blah, 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 blah. This is double standard. But I think the idea of sex for me came as a no-no. It was never introduced to me as something. It was only introduced as something you're not supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
But
yeah.
It was also introduced as something that was really sought after and really cool. Remember.
By whom?
I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
So, I've got multiple sides in my family, Mark, and a lot of them are funny. You know what I mean? They're hilarious. But I'm going to go back to Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, remember, I was the runt of the litter at the time, as far as the boys go. So I got Tony, Carrie, Billy, DC's older than me, Craig's older than me. All my cousins are older than me. And my Uncle Robert, who's even my uncle, but he's old enough to be my cousin.
Okay.
So he was raised in that sense. I respect him as my uncle, but he was a little younger. So as we would listen to them, I remember them talking about popping someone's cherry.
Uh-oh.
Don't say, uh-oh, we're talking about sex. I'm telling you how sex was formed for me. Now, I need you to know that in a 7 or 8-year-old's mind, when you saying pop the cherry, I know you're talking about...
You were 7 and 8? 7 or 8?
I was the runt of the litter. All right? So I'm hearing these conversations.
I was hoping you were at least 10.
I was hearing about these conversations.
Okay, sorry.
Right? Now, just imagine what it sounds like in my brain. Like even that vernacular, that term, popping the cherry. I thought that inside of a woman
was a cherry.
And that it was your job.
Okay.
What?
This is too much.
What are you talking about?
This is just too much.
What do you think it's too much? Can I tell you how my sexual illustration of my mind?
Move it along, please. This is too much.
I don't think she's gonna survive this episode. Yeah. So I thought that popping the cherry, I thought that was a thing. I thought it was odd that it was something that they was all seeking for, my older cousins. I'm like, oh, so pop the cherry. I guess we all got to get to it at some point. I didn't know whether it hurt the girl. I didn't know whether it was painful.
Didn't matter, huh?
Didn't matter. It just sounded like it was a fantastic time. So that's how that was formed. But I also remember my aunt.
Don't say any names, please.
I won't say no names. We used to call it moosing.
What?
That's dry humping. We used to call it moosing. What's so funny, Mark? We used to call it moosing. Yeah, I moosed her. Yeah, you see that girl over there? I moosed her. So when my cousins hear this, they gonna laugh because I'm taking them back. Like, yo, I moosed her. So, you playing hide and go seek. And if you in the hood, it becomes hide and go get.
Yep.
So once you find the person, you get a little time to do a little humping. And I remember my aunt saying, I don't know if we were over her house or whatever it was, but I remember, y'all better not be in there doing the booty.
Oh.
Y'all doing the booty? And I was like, I want to do the booty. I didn't know how old I was, but I was like, at some point, I got to get to doing the booty. It sounds like a great time.
Oh my God.
And of course, you got movies, and so and such. That helps formulate, how it starts. You kiss the girl, or the good music with the saxophones. Mm. The saxophones come on, and that lets you know that it's sexy time, right? Then they kiss each other. They look each other in the eyes. And then they kiss. It was always weird watching white people kiss, though.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Because the lips would be all...
There's a whole lot you just shouldn't have said in these last 5 minutes.
All right. Well, that's how sex was formed in my head.
Okay.
Family and movies. Then as I got older, music, because we are 90s kids.
Okay.
But I had a better understanding what sex was then. What say you, Miss Prude?
A whole lot of that.
Okay. Moosing?
Yes. So you're bringing some things back for me. But she was on the other foot, right? So I have male cousins that were saying certain things.
Yeah.
And so when you said that, I was just like, oh.
It took you back a little bit.
Took me back a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think I was a little bit older. I definitely was older than 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. But as a female, you go into those spaces, or you go into learning about sex. You go into learning about
You're
you
a
go into
grown
it. I
woman
am.
with children.
I am.
This is a marriage podcast, and people want to hear us talk about sex because it's a big deal.
And so we are. We are absolutely going to talk about it. I'm going to
Just
get
laying
over
the foundation.
this. My pits are sweaty, but we are going to... we are just going to talk about it.
Mom spaghetti. There's vomit on my...
So yes, I think as a female, it was like you don't have sex because if you have sex, you get pregnant. Period. Right. So that was the foundation. So it was like, oh no, this is absolutely something that I don't want to do. I knew that much, and so because it was fear based, I really didn't have a desire for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember cousins being like, "Okay, girl. Like, what's your problem?"
didn't one of your cousins
Leah asked me. Yeah, my
gay?
cousin asked me. I can say her name, but she asked me like, "Are you gay? What is the matter with you?" And I was like, I don't want. I've always been one of those people that was just like, if I can see where we're headed, like the trajectory, or that end point, I'm good. So I'm not going to do any of that might get me there. And I've always been that type of person. And so for me, yeah, it was just like, oh, you better not. And, when I was younger, I was talking about it with our daughter yesterday. We're talking about clothes and I tended to wear like short shorts and I wasn't.
You was the queen of the skirt.
I was the queen of the skirt.
Do you know what a skirt? Wait, do you know what a skirt is, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. Skirts were big in the 90s.
Explain it for everyone else.
Okay.
They don't know.
Oh yeah. So in the 90s, early 90s, there's a thing called a skirt, and it sounds exactly like it sounds. Skirt. It was a skirt and shorts at the same time. So it allowed women or young ladies who wanted to be a little risque with the booty shorts to also have a skirt going on.
Yeah, because it was like the front looked like a skirt and the back was like booty shorts. And so, I loved shorts, was always wearing, I didn't wear long shorts.
No, you did not. You wore booty shorts. Why is it so hard for you to say the truth?
I just said that. I wore booty shorts.
Administrative assistant, secretary.
I just said that I wore booty shorts.
Okay, finish your definition of the skirt.
No, I'm done with that.
Okay.
Point being, though, I did like to dress a certain way that I think would send messaging that I was maybe a little more forward or a little more free or a little bit more. But I actually was not that kind of girl at all.
Your communication was a lie.
No, the intention wasn't what was assumed. What was inferred was not correct. And so because of that, I got a lot of backlash at times from, like the great aunts, if you go in a certain space, or like they would say to my mom, like, you let her wear that? And my mother would be like, yeah, what's the matter with it? Like, what's the matter with what she's wearing? And her rationale would be like, she's got great grades and she's respectful and she, and so it was
She's not thought.
Basically. So anyway, I say that to say that was part of the reason I think that sex was really like taboo for me.
Got it.
And we talked about it. So we're watching, for those of you who are not watching, we're watching Forever, right?
Yeah.
Mara Bracco Kills series right now. And I love Judy Blume, so she taught me all about sex.
Judy Blume was amazing.
I've been an avid reader all of my life, and so I read all of Judy Blume's books. So Tiger Eyes, Forever.
Shy read Tiger Eyes.
Yes, she did. You read it with her, actually.
Yep.
Which was ironic. But and in those books, Judy Blume does a really great job of talking about how women or how girls go from girls to women. And so talking about, having their cycles and
feeling a way about
feeling their feelings, those sensual feeling those things and talking about that. And so anyway, we're watching that series right now and it's sparking a lot of
absolutely
feelings.
It got me.
I know you were absolutely not.
Oh yeah, I'm like 6 episodes in, maybe 7.
Yes.
But for more than one reason. I don't want to derail the pod.
No, definitely.
Because we live. It's filmed where we live. It's
there's
the streets
also that
we drive. It's the
our neighborhood.
It's our neighborhood. So
Yes.
Which is really cool. And there's people now, because we live in LA, you live long enough, now it's people that I know who are in it. I've got I know 2 or 3 people that I've seen that I know that are actually in it. It's pretty cool, man.
And so one of the things that the series has done is it has me thinking about my feelings around sex, because that's happening with these teenagers, but also it has me thinking about like just the premise being to a couple that's in love. And I've said to you, I don't know how many times, like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that men or boys had the capacity to like really love females. And I think that is also a huge reason why sex was so fearful for me. Because so I end up pregnant potentially.
Right.
And then I have to deal with what? The mess that I see that's being modeled in my family.
And
because nobody's married, but everybody's got kids.
Right.
And
like, if you're a virgin, then it's supposed to hurt. Like, I'm the one that's in pain. Like, you guys do get the short end of the stick. I don't think that's the proper analogy. All right.
This is too much.
Sorry about that.
This is too much.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a rough goal for women regarding sex.
So yeah, I think that would speak to some of my let's not talk about this.
Yeah. Moving it forward,
Please.
just inching it a little forward. I was able to watch a Jordan Peterson clip, and he's got a lot to say about a lot. But regarding sex and marriage, he was really, he's fantastic with words, so in depth. And, there was a piece that he talked about, and it was regarding marriage specifically, and how we formulate the idea of marriage, what its purpose is, and how it gets lost in translation once you cross over that marriage line. That, I was like, wait, it was fun before. It was all the good stuff that came with intimacy. It was the manifestation of a good night, good meal, and a good date. In a way you feel someone. Now it feels like work. Now it's less sought after. Almost like some people are saying marriage is the death of sex.
So
go for it.
Can I?
Go for it.
Okay. So I listened to a podcast because I wanted to get some ideas of how to kind of gather all of this together. Yeah. And one of the things that they talked about, it was actually Mel Robbins' podcast, but she's
a bad girl, man.
She is you know what? I didn't really love her at first, but now I'm really rocking with her. Okay.
Yeah. So,
she had a sex therapist on her show. So she talked about the different styles of desire. And so one of the things that the therapist talked about was that she said there were 2 types. I dug a little bit deeper. I found that there were 3 types of desire types. So what that means is like when I want to have sex or you want to have sex, a couple wants to get together, what happens is sometimes one of the partners has a spontaneous drive. Some of them have a contextual drive. And then the third is responsive. And a lot of times women tend to have a responsive sex drive. And so what that means is like they are willing and ready.
But they got to be turned on.
But they have to be turned on. And so contextual is like you and I could go somewhere like to the club. We go to the club, or we could go.
Did you say the club?
I said the club.
You said the club?
I surely did.
Oh, okay. The club. We're 45 years old. I don't even know where the club is at.
We could go to.
I don't know where the club. Somebody tell me where the club is.
We could go to. You know what I meant though.
It'd be $20 for parking too. Sorry.
We could go to like Carnival. We could go somewhere we could go to the strip club. We could go to you and I could go, this is hypothetical, but we could go into a space and I might be like, oh yeah, I need one of them rooms. Right? I wouldn't do that. But you know what I'm saying? It's contextual. It's about the environment that you're in.
Copy.
That will stir up some. So it's not even you. It's not even you turning me on. It's just, this music and there's someone dancing and gyrating and like there's stuff happening and I want this right now. And then there are other people who are just like they see something or a thought comes across their mind and it's go time. And so it's really important for us to understand what our partners desire is. It's our sex desire or the desire to have, like what that labeling is.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I think it's interesting that on the conceptual, not the conceptual side, but you talked about women tend to be responsive. I want to go back to that women tend to be responsive in that. What that tells me is that it's a perfect fit for men, because men tend to be what? Hunters, pursuers. So you're telling me that I need to turn you on and then you're there. Sounds like a match made in heaven to me.
So it could be. It could be, right? But I also think that the spontaneity that you talked about at the very beginning can eventually turn into a response for men as well. So once we're in marriage, like once we're in that space, we find that you're more responsive as well. Not than me, but if we've got two responsive partners, then it's like, well, are you going to set it off or am I going to? Right. Are you? And then we fall asleep.
See, what you just did that's all good stuff. That's all good stuff. But the humorous piece of what you said is really, really funny. Because the truth is, when you get married, you got stuff going on, man. Especially when you get up and you work out. Then after you work out, then you got to get the kids to school. And then you get the kids to school, most people have to go to work. And after that workload, then you got to go be a soccer mom or basketball dad, and you got that piece happening. And then by the time you eat, put these kids to bed, yell and scream at them and beg them to do what you ask them to do to help out the house. And you lay down and you put on whatever 30 minutes of
whatever we're going to watch.
Programming, whether it's Martin, whether it's Fever, what we was watching, talking about?
We watched it Forever yesterday.
You know, it's like, yeah, man, you know, your wife can promise you the best time in life, the best time ever. And then you roll over to have your best time in life and she's snoring. Or
best time of the day. Best time of the day.
Or vice
right?
versa.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that, but people don't speak about it enough. You know, there's more jokes about it than there are truths. And that's how it is. Like, you know, Jordan Peterson talked about this as well. Like, the pre-marriage, because people act like sex don't happen during there, especially church folks. You know what I mean? They act like Christians, whatever. They act like sex don't happen before. Lies. People been doing the booty and they be shacking up, and that's a part of it, and that's one of the reasons you want to marry her, right? Or him. So it happens. You know what I mean? But then you cross over, and now the pleasure piece of it is still there whenever you like, however you like. You know what I mean? But there's also the real part of it. There's bills, and there's fatigue, and there's children, and there's health, and there's, you know, maybe you're not sexually as attracted to your mate that you were before. You deal with a lot of things. But people don't speak about that enough, you know, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, because it's ain't just the act of having sex and, you know, all y'all nasty people out there doing all the, you know, what type of, nah. It's really about the truth of it all. It's a physical act, but there's way more that comes along with it once you cross over to being married, because there's responsibility now. It ain't just the pleasure fun. It ain't just the dates and you looking good every time you see them, because now you get to see them when they ain't looking so good. You know what I mean? When their breath is stinking a little bit, when they funky, or when they disheveled, or when they just wake up, or when it's, so it's different.
But I think one thing to take note of is, in regards to something that you had said, was like, how sex doesn't stay the same. The pacing of it all doesn't stay the same. But also, like, partners don't necessarily have legit conversation about sex.
Yeah.
I think we do more so now in a jokingly kind of way, but like straight up having a conversation. I like when you do this.
Right.
Or I like when
you're talking about the actual pleasure of it and the connectivity and the actual communication piece, because just like finances, sex is a part of your relationship, and if you want to maximize it, because this is the person you said you're going to do forever with, you're right. You should be communicating, but most people ain't talking. They're not talking about what makes them feel good.
They're not talking about anything.
They're not talking about anything, and years can go by, and so on and so forth, and you'll be in big trouble. I understand that.
Yes.
I don't agree, but I understand what you're saying. That's crazy. You got to talk. You got to communicate.
Another suggestion, I mean, just not in regards to what you're talking about, right, is like, I give the example. We do a lot of staycations. We like to get away. We like to have certain dates and do certain things, right? And in reference to what used to be and what is now, right? Like we're not, we go on dates, but we're not dating. That's not where we are, because we're per se. Well, we're married now, right? So it's not that like, oh, well, we're gonna do this, so then yeah. Or what was it Chris Rock said? Like, we eat chicken, so then we can.
No, he said, when you're in a dating relationship, all you're doing is eating and screwing.
Right. But there's an intentionality to it, right? So you're setting the date. I'm going to meet with so-and-so at 7:00. we gonna break this bread, and then we're going to do something, right? And so it would be great in marriage if we had that same type of intentionality.
Right.
And so, as a suggestion, do it before we go on a date.
Do you have any data that talks about the sex drive of a woman as opposed to a man after a certain age while married? Do you have any data that would help us with that? I'm just asking. If you don't, it's fine. But I just wonder what the sex drive for a woman who has been married 15 years as opposed to a man who's been married 15 years. I wonder if it's the same. I wonder if a woman is, horny. Is horny the right word? Is she more horny than a guy? You know what I mean? Because we tend to just be horny just because that's what we are. But I wonder if there's some data that suggests that, because I'd imagine there's some couples that are like just not attracted to you right now. I love you. You know what I mean? I still do but I'm just not that attracted to you. But I ain't going nowhere.
I think I don't have actual data. I can. No, I have something. Yeah. I have something on reserve that I can go back to and look at in a moment. But I think the like what you're getting at is like it's ebbs and flows. Just like,
I mean, I'd have to say that I'm asking simply because I know that the body changes, the mind changes. You age, you mature, but there are some physical things that happen. As you age, mature, your body. Especially a woman, after you give birth a few times, your bodies be all out of whack. You know what I mean? Your hormones are different. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. I think definitely. They say 6 weeks. It's way past that. Way past that. I thought stuff was just rattling around in there for at least a year this last time. So, your body isn't quite the same, and but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have a desire. It just means you're preoccupied with so many
other things.
Yeah, with so many other
there
things
before.
Yeah, so many other new things that you have to acclimate to.
And some people really can't. They can't conceptualize that. They can't conceptualize because they're so in it. They're so in love, and they love the idea of sex so much. They just can't bring themselves to conceptualize that there are things greater than sex, and that sex can become a part of the relationship, not the relationship. So I understand that.
If it is like the sole thing in the relationship, we need to reevaluate this thing. So I do have some facts about long-term relationships I have some facts about sex in long-term relationships.
Give us some bars, bro.
Okay. So like you said, sex declines over time. And so typically,
the number of times having sex in a relationship declines is what you're saying. Or sex drive.
Just overall, sex declines over time. Okay. It just the idea of wanting, the sex drive. And so oftentimes, on average, married couples are having sex once a week.
I have that too. I gather that same data.
Okay. But just because it declines doesn't mean that the quality of sex is not up to par. So a lot of these couples are like, it's really great, but it's just once a week. We do it on Fridays. Yep. That's when we get it done.
Right.
But it's amazing.
That sounds crazy.
That's
so doubling up on that, or backing you up, supporting that. The average frequency of sex by married couples is about once a week, but this varies significantly from couple to couple. Some couples have sex more frequently, while others have it less often. What's considered normal depends on individual preferences and relationship dynamics.
Yep.
Once again, relationship dynamics and individual preferences.
That's a key factor to this, right? And so I think if we're talking about sex, then we should probably talk about intimacy. We should probably talk a little bit about connectivity, because I think the three of them come together, and in this marriage, right, or this trinity, they're able to really help us to want to do this more.
Do me a favor, introduce those three things again, so we can jump into those three factors, please.
Okay, so we're talking about sex, but in talking about sex, we should probably talk about intimacy,
boom,
and connectivity,
boom.
And so that's
you said two, not three.
Well, sex, intimacy, and connection,
and connectivity.
Yep, because I think they all go together.
I love that. Sex, intimacy,
and connectivity.
I think you are 100% correct, and I think that makes sense.
I don't think I made this up.
Oh, no. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think.
We are the king and queen. We ain't got we don't have a staff that does deep dives for us, man. This is a Google search, all right? This is an AI breakdown overview.
And it's reading, and it's conversations.
And living.
And exactly. I'm like, this is a whole composite of a bunch of other pieces.
So you take one. You take. Well, so the sex part, we know what sex is.
So we talked about sex, but I think I'm comfortable with talking a little bit about us directly in that when we are more communicative, when we are more active, be it physical and sexually, we tend to be connected.
Absolutely.
Like, we just tend to...
We vibrate super duper high together.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and when we don't, we tend to bicker more.
Absolutely.
We tend to be like, I don't... Yeah.
We, without a doubt, we have sexual tension. You know, it's usually... They usually refer to it when it's people who aren't together, and they're acting like they don't want to
just do it already.
Just do it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for us, there's actual sexual tension because, you know, we're not talking about ourselves like that. Like I said, I'll leave you alone. I like sex. And I like my wife. She's attractive to me. You know what I mean?
You are too. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
But it's not about me.
I know.
You're attractive to me.
I know.
You know what I mean? And we're 19 years in.
I'm just healing from some things. And so I'm not going to be as forward as you about that. And I know that you don't want me to be defensive about this, but what I'm saying is, no, I love you too.
Okay. Well, let me talk about being attracted to my wife and that I like having sex with or making love to my wife. I'm supposed to say making love.
You say what you want.
You know what's funny is I remember being a young boy.
You said Papa Cherry earlier, so.
That's what my cousins was saying. That's how I was introduced to me. You're judging my journey. Don't judge my journey. Just judge my journey. Don't judge my journey. I don't judge your journey. You don't judge my journey.
No
You're judging my
here.
journey. Don't judge my journey. Don't judge my journey. Don't judge my journey.
Okay, Vince
I'm about to cry. Oh, it's funny to me.
Okay.
That's funny. But yeah, I think they are, sex, intimacy, and connectivity. You're right. It goes hand in hand. And I noticed that even though we have the same things that other families have, we've got children, we've got, I had a company at one point. I just sold, thank the Lord. And, we have other obligations and, but at the end of the day, it's like, literally at the end of the day, anybody who's heard me say this is not about me being oversharing or blah, blah, blah. In a perfect world, I get up in the morning, and I work out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Connect with God through my prayer, through my, my quiet time. I read my book, you know what I mean? I work out, handle some business, you know what I mean? Whether it's an hour and a half or it's 8 hours, whatever it takes, handle some business, you know what I mean? Get home to my kids, eat a good meal, and make love to my wife. That's a perfect day to me. Unfortunately, that's not every day. But, I understand that there are men out there and women that, they're having sex once a week. That blew my mind. Once a week that's crazy. That's crazy. I give it a shot every day. I'm thinking about it all the time. Mark, you're laughing. Lizzy, I give it a shot. I'm trying to give it a shot. I might fall asleep. She might fall asleep. But just know that it's never not in my mind. I'm trying to give it a shot. You know what? Today when I get home, I'm going to, you know what I mean? But I'm giving it a shot. We're 19 years in, man. So I don't understand once a week. That's crazy. I get it. Because women have cycles and stuff like that. And
so I was listening to another podcast. And it was a married couple on there, and their podcast is specifically about being married, God-fearing. Like it is, they do a lot of scripture and all the other stuff, right? And one of them said something about God smiles every time a couple has, like a married couple. And I was like, I never heard it that way. And I was like, and I wish that I had heard it like that when I was younger, because then I wouldn't feel so like, why are we doing this, but like, don't kiss me in public, or don't, because of so much of the fear that I was experiencing when I was younger. Like, we've talked about it in the marriage and when we talked about getting married, right? And how I didn't kiss you very long because...
It's not about the length of the kiss. The kiss was trash that you gave me during the wedding. Just say it. You gave me a trash kiss at our wedding.
Because my grandmother and my mother were right there in the front row.
How you think you got here? They was kissing and hugging and all of that. That's how you got here, champ.
I understand that. But we just talked about the history of things, right? Okay, so those things don't change.
I'm judging your journey.
Well, quit.
I'm judging your journey.
Don't do that. So anyway, when the wife said that, when she said like, God smiles at us every time, it was like, oh my goodness. So when I have sex, that is that's God blesses me.
I didn't get that.
I didn't either. But I mean, I did. Like, that's where I spun it, because
you spent it that way.
That's how I did that, because I was just like, okay, cancel those negative feelings, because I don't want to feel that anymore.
I understand. My father told me, and I tell you all the time, my father be like, yo, blame God. I didn't create this. I didn't do this. I didn't create sexual whatever. Anything. I didn't do it. God did it. So God did. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it's a natural thing. I'm not going to get into that corny stuff where love is love, and I'm not going to play those games.
Okay, so we won't. So we won't even mention it then.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that was a nice spin on the idea of.
It gave sex a positive connotation.
I mean, I feel it. I like it. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying, it was just like thinking.
What was that, Miss Prude?
That I like.
I like it a lot.
A lot.
Okay.
Great. Anywho, so anyway, I'm gonna just go back to my data, because you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
It's okay. So desire can be asynchronous.
All right. Can we not get too deep in the data now? Like, we got people listening. They like good stuff, but let's not dig too deep in the data.
Asynchronous is a big word for like it doesn't happen at the same time. That's all it means. Asynchronous. It's not happening.
We're having a good time. No, we're talking about asynchronous sex and asynchronous.
Okay. Yes. So just talking about that, long-term relationships often still have really great sex lives. What is it that you do in your relationship to ensure that we have a great sex life?
To ensure? Mm-hmm. What do I do to ensure? To ensure. I don't like the answer. I don't like the question.
Oh, what's the matter with it?
I don't like that question. I just don't like the question.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I do.
I just like making love to my wife.
Right. Oh, it's just that simple. So then I don't need to wear like certain things, and I don't have to.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look. I know what you're getting at. Well, for me, okay, I know what you're getting at. For me, I think looking a certain way aesthetically helps. I know that everyone's built different, and that over time, cortisol, high blood pressure, all these things contribute to the body of a male. You know what I mean? The dad bod, so to speak, or just people who just ain't in shape. But I always say to myself, if I was a woman, would I want some dude on top of me sweating or behind me sweating and funky who's just not sexy?
I mean, but if you
handsome and sexy, like, is that what you want? Like, ew. So to ensure my sexual prowess, I like to look good. I like to take care of my body. That's one of the reasons I take care of my body. I want to be considered attractive, at least sexually, to my wife.
Absolutely.
I think that's a big deal.
Same.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think we're in agreement about
But
that.
to answer your question, no, we're not getting off of that. I like certain stuff. I ain't freaky, but I do like certain, colors and stuff on you.
Don't give too much.
Copy that.
Okay.
But you asked, I'm just responding.
I know, and I appreciate the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that I was going to say something along the same lines. At one point, I was like, okay, Lincoln's like 3 now. Okay. I done put on a couple pounds here. I need to get it
You got
together.
yourself together. You did. You're probably in the best shape of your life. You're as far as like high school goes, it don't really count because your body's still growing and it's still like the metabolism is doing a different thing that it's doing now. Mm-hmm. But I think you're probably in your best shape of your life at this point, which is good for me.
I just be tired now.
Well, I mean, our days is wild.
Yeah,
we are,
definitely.
well, not you, but I'm a productivity freak. So I do a lot in my day, but we do a lot in our day.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, definitely. We have a Q&A section. Do you want to talk about do you want to go through the Q&As?
Sure.
Or, okay,
Sure.
You want to take a look at them?
Shoot them.
Okay. So, using 2 words. Okay, so these questions are going to be kind of light, and then some of them may be a little heavy. Is that cool?
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
cool with that.
Okay, cool. So using 2 words, how would you describe what makes sex worth having?
Slapping and grabbing.
Oh my gosh.
What was I supposed to say? Was that a deep one?
No, it could be. You can say whatever you want. Your words are your words. There's no judgment here.
Don't judge my journey.
Oh my gosh. The 2 words I probably would use is I want to have fun in this space, and I want to be connected. I want that to be.
Got it.
So you see how
So my slapping and grabbing was very.
It was you. It was you. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I kind of expected this. Okay, so.
I can't do this. Paint me the villain. What else you got, champ?
Would you rather have sex with lights on or off?
Lights on. Oh. I like what I'm looking at. I'm assuming that's a
No, it's fine.
okay.
I
You wouldn't
just
say the same.
I mean, I like what I'm looking at too.
Okay.
But I'm thinking about me.
Y'all overthink things. Women, y'all live in y'all head. Y'all live in y'all head.
I'd rather they be off. Just
Got it.
Yeah. My own insecurities has nothing to do with you. Would you rather socks or a t-shirt then?
You know I keep my socks on, champ. I got ugly toes.
Do you still keep your socks on?
Nah, I don't. You know that. You said shirt? Shirt off.
Well, obviously.
It's like when people, yeah, shirt off. What we doing?
I'm keeping my shirt on.
Look how long it's taking her, Mark. She's struggling. She is really struggling. Hey, fam, I've been married 19 years. I got kids. I have sex with my wife. God smiles all the time at me.
3 things you'd never do. 3 things you'd never do to your partner. I don't like that question. I'm gonna take that one back.
Next
okay. What more can we do to make sex more pleasant for you?
For me?
For you in particular. So then I would answer it the same way for me.
Well, I'm going to answer it for me.
Go for it.
I'm good. I'm not a freak. I'm not sexually complex. I'm just not. I like what I have. I'm good. I don't need. I'm not swinging from chandeliers. I don't need this, that, and the third. As long as my wife is in the room, I'm straight.
Can you clarify that last part?
What you mean?
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
I'm just saying.
Yo, watch your mouth and get your mind out of the gutter. I know where y'all was at with it. Both of y'all need to knock it off. As long as I got my wife, I'm straight. I know where y'all getting at. I don't play them games. I don't share. I don't want nobody else around. I think that's nasty. I don't invite other spirits, because people who do that, y'all be inviting other spirits into your space and then wonder why your relationships don't work. Oh. All right? So, I just need my wife and I'm straight. I'm not a freak.
Perfect. Great answer.
You and Mark, I tell y'all what, both of y'all can kick
sir.
rocks.
That was...
It sounded crazy?
It did.
It sounded crazy?
Yes, I'm glad you clarified.
Y'all been watching too much Diddy trial.
No, wait.
Y'all been watching too much of the Diddy trial, bro.
Oh, my God.
Sitting there watching somebody else smash your wife is crazy. It's crazy work, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy work. It's crazy work.
Yeah, so I think I almost agree with you.
Yeah.
Because yes, what could make it more pleasant, or what I think that we're great. I think I'd...
Poor kid.
No. I think I wish that I wasn't so tired so that we could do it more often. That's like, I so want to be spontaneous.
That's why I be saying lights on, killer. Once the lights go out, because you can sleep anywhere. This chick can go to sleep anywhere. The airplane, they don't even be finished with there's 2 exits. She already
I put the hood on and...
Yep. And wake up when the wheels hit. Welcome to Bradley International.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
I hear you. You wish you had more. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Abstinence.
Who?
Just gonna put a slightly different spin on things.
Cool.
Okay. So abstinence. Do you think that it can help a sex drought in a marriage?
Absolutely. You know why? Because I believe in the idea of fasting. And I've already seen the power of fasting. Some people believe fasting to be just turning, or church folks, they call it turning down their plate. And all that shows me is that you have an issue with food. All right? That's all that. Sorry, I'm a follower of Christ, but I just think the church culture sometimes bends things and it twists things a little bit. That's all. So what I'm saying is I believe in fasting, and I believe not only does fasting help your body and your mind, but it helps your spirit. You know what I mean? And we talked about connectivity earlier, right? I believe wholeheartedly that if you connect with your higher power, if you connect, by abstaining from food, sex, or whatever it is, for a little while, it can only intensify its meaning, because you'll get clarity. You're getting clarity of thought. You know what I mean? You're kind of purifying yourself in a little bit. So in that sense, of course, I believe that abstaining would make sense and would improve, sexual desire or whatever, whatever you asked me. Do I want to abstain? No, that part. If the follow-up question is, do I want to abstain? No.
I didn't. So that wasn't that wasn't the follow-up. I was just
that's for somebody else.
Right. I was just curious about that. And I think that if we were in a space where things were rocky and we were dependent only on sex to create connectivity and intimacy,
then you need therapy.
You know what? We need therapy, but also we probably do need to abstain for a little bit, because we need to now shift that focus to the other parts of our marriage that need some help.
To work. Yeah, I'm so glad that's not my story. All right, but I agree.
Amen. That is not our story. Okay. Many long-term partners claim to feel deeply disconnected to their partner. Do you remember feeling any disconnectivity in our relationship?
Sexually speaking.
Sexually,
yes, absolutely. I struggled with pregnancy.
Yes, you did.
I did, and that's a real thing. I don't think a lot of men speak about that. We're not allowed to speak about that. But pregnancy is tough on a woman, but it's also tough on a man in that regards. People joke and they have fun with the idea that you don't need any protection, you don't really got to worry about nothing. Women hormones are raging, so they tend to be a little more horny at the time. Sexual desire is up, and all those good things, and they are glowing. There is a glow, but there's this something very deep and almost, I don't know if it's a word, rarefied when it comes to being in that, almost producing another human time. It's just deep. And it's almost, for me, and it almost feels like sometimes, sounds crazy, that sex is not even supposed to be a part of that. That's my thing. It's not real, but it feels like almost, this thing is almost untouchable. You're not supposed to be doing that. Now it's dirty because there's something beautiful that's getting ready to happen. It's stupid. It don't make sense, but that's my truth.
Yeah. I was actually, when I was looking up or coming up with the questions, that was one of the things that I thought about, because ironically for me during our pregnancy, that's when I wanted to feel beautiful and I wanted to feel connected to you. Here we are, I'm growing this thing that we've created, and it felt like you had pushed me away. And so, there was a lot of disconnectivity or unconnectedness that was happening during that time. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was going through something too. And, in addition to that, a lot of men suffer from, I have to take over the world in 9 months. I also suffered from that. So your mind is somewhere else sometimes as well. So I'm so sorry.
Thank you, babes. But yeah, so that would have been a point for me as well, when I felt really disconnected from you. Nothing we could say, nothing we could talk about. Even when we went in for like those doctor's visits, and that's not me like beating a dead horse here. It's just painting the picture, right? And so then after having the baby, feeling a level of reprieve, like, oh my goodness, I get my partner back. I get my husband back.
But the man also feels too like, well, now she belonged to him or her, the child.
Yeah.
So now I really done lost my life.
Definitely.
She's tired. She's all stretched out of whack. I'm making fun, but it's real.
No,
it's a funky time, man.
And don't add on postpartum, like all of the depression that can play a part in all of that, right? So anyway, that would have been a time where I felt really disconnected to you sexually as well.
That's good stuff.
In pregnancy, yeah.
You got any more? We good?
I think, because I didn't like this other question. Yeah, cool. I don't have any. Do you have some?
Cool. I think I do, but
okay.
I think we're coming down the hill a little bit. I think we've covered a lot of bases, and I think we've helped some people out there as well without oversharing, whatever. So I think there's some good stuff in there. I think I'm really interested. I want to listen to this feedback tonight. I'm probably going to watch this tonight because I learned a lot as well. I do have a question for you. What do you think you've learned over the past 19 years being married regarding your sexuality?
Well, I've done that deep dive that we did at the beginning of the episode today. I've done some of that work because I really wanted to understand, like, why is that I have such a negative connotation to something that's supposed to be so absolutely beautiful, and we all do, but we never talk about it, right? Like, people don't.
Oh, you never talk about it.
I don't talk about it, but I'm saying, like, people in general don't necessarily like walk up to somebody else and be talking about their sex life, Generally, it doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
Or at least that's my experience, right? So I wanted to understand those things. What's the question again?
My wife has ADHD.
I do. What was the question again?
Over the 19 years that we've been married, what have you learned about yourself regarding sexuality? Your sexuality. My
sexuality. I think that I have learned the power of being present. Like, and I don't mean just like when the act is happening. I mean thinking about what leads up to and how important is sex. And like, I've learned a lot in that time because it doesn't happen as often as it did when, we were younger, right? And so now having to really be intentional is one of the things that I've had to learn. And some of that is like, hey, reset that brain and stop thinking like it has to go a certain way, or we have to lay out this red carpet, because it don't have to happen like that, right? And just being okay with that, but also being okay with he may not be he might not be in a spontaneous space right now. He might be in a responsive space. And it's okay for me to initiate. It's okay for me to do those things. But I didn't realize that until I didn't realize I could do that, because like Lil' Kim and
Foxy
and all of the other,
that's our age.
That's our age, or Meg Thee Stallion, or even dare I say like Beyonce, right? Like they put on these types of personas, and that is something like that you can aspire to, but sometimes it doesn't feel natural. But those things are very natural, and I've had to learn that. And I think in my 40s I started to begin to like, oh, this is okay. It's okay to feel like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's okay to initiate. It's okay to, you ain't really always got to care about, because like you said, what'd you say, smashing and trashing or whatever? I don't know what phrasing you use, but you can stir those things up.
Right.
Yeah.
I dig that. I guess I can see that.
That's something that I think I've learned. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess for me, 19 years marriage regarding sexuality, my sexuality, I've learned that sex has different meanings for me. It holds different pieces of value for me. It is a stress reliever. It is a connectivity tool, utensil. It is also, regarding you, it keeps me connected to my primal pursuit, the primal pursuit. As a man, I'm still a hunter. And sometimes with you, who is responsive, you generally are responsive, it requires a hunt. And that connects me to my primal man.
Like instincts.
And I dig that.
Oh, okay.
Call me a caveman if you want, but it does that for me. And because it has so much value and so many different levels of value for me, that shows me that there's God all the way in there. No one can talk me off the ledge regarding that. So that's where I'm at.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
That's really good. That's really dope.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really good, though. I can't wait to watch this. This is pretty dope.
I'm going to cringe all the way through it. Yeah. All right. So I recollect.
Do you recollect?
Do you recollect?
This week's Do You Recollect is brought to you by nobody.
Nobody.
Shout out to TNT and NBA on TNT.
So I want you to think of an anecdote that explains a moment of like in-depth intimacy or connectivity.
Easy breezy lemon squeezy. I think one of the most intimate moments. I think one of the most intimate moments that we've had was our reconnectivity before the night that we opted to get married. Even though I hadn't proposed to you properly yet, because we've been together so long, and we had our moment where we weren't together, and there was a moment that it was probably going to be all or nothing. In that moment, in that small gap, we had a conversation that was maybe 4 or 5 hours long. And that to me was a level of intimacy that you just can't find anywhere. You couldn't make up. You couldn't just produce it. It had to happen organically. And it also showed me that my attraction to you is not just physical. We really were friends going back before we got married. And the connectivity to somebody who I trusted, I loved, cared for, being back on board with me and supporting me was extremely intimate to me. And I'm not talking about sensuality at all, because that's not even where we were. But it connected me to a different level of intimacy.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you say that, because my moment was that moment in April. It was when we were celebrating your birthday, and we were in the middle of chaos. And you said to me, after this year, you don't have to go back to work. And do you remember the night? I'm sure you remember that night, but it was the same thing. It was like, oh shoot, like we about to start something brand new, fresh.
And we still moving.
And we're doing this together.
Yep.
And so it was like I was getting ready to sever the ties of not corporate, but a formal traditional job. And we had this real long conversation about next steps. Didn't know where it was going to go exactly.
How long ago was this, to be exact?
It was almost 4 years ago. Well, it's 4 years ago, April. Yep, April of 2025. So it was 2021, April 2021. And when you were like, I think if you don't want to do this anymore, I said, say less. Say less. I don't. But we had that conversation. We were sitting in a hot tub.
Absolutely.
Because we were celebrating. And again, this overarching, this really tough thing that we were dealing with. We were not in Hawaii.
Okay.
That was last year. No, we were in Laguna Beach. We were at Laguna Beach. We were hanging out. It was for your birthday.
And yep.
So we had this. So I'm saying that to say there was this huge like juxtaposition. There was this huge, really bad thing that was going on with us.
Yeah.
I think
it was
so.
chaos.
It was chaos.
Yeah.
And here we are now going, okay, we're getting ready to restart something new. And there was this level of like I trust you. You could tell me the sky is purple and I will believe you. And it doesn't even matter that it doesn't look purple to me, right? Like all of those things. And we were absolutely connected. And I think we had a wonderful night, even, after that. And for me, that was just like, oh, this man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think people don't know how cavewoman you are. We joke about it, but like, my wife could be a feminist. She can wear all the hats, but my wife is down home. If you want to provide for me, cool. You know what I mean? If I ain't got the cool.
I've been healed.
Yeah, right. Straight up and down. My wife is, you know what I mean? And people talk about, well, the strength of a woman and the patriarchy. My wife is like, nah, take care of me, homeboy, because I'll take care of you. And I love on you. You know what I mean? I paid my debt to society. I worked. I gave these babies life, and I did all these things. If you can, do. You know what I mean? My wife does not. I'm telling you, Mark, it don't happen every night, but my wife does not have a problem with bringing me food, and I'm grateful for it. I don't expect it, but when she come in the room or she know I had a long day, and that food is in the microwave, that's considered old school. It's considered tradie wife or however they call it. My wife is down for it. Now, she ain't barefooted and pregnant. We don't do that in our house. We don't get down like that. But, my wife, the more I earn, the more I learn, and the more I conquer, the more she's connected to me. I can feel her. She's like, I love you. I love you. Get your butt in the room right now. And I'm like, what just happened? I just closed one deal. I know. But that's interesting. People don't know that about Lizzy. Cool beans. Can we go eat now? Can we go eat?
Let's eat.
Yo, I was super, this is a good episode, but I was just so excited to see Mark. Like, I just feel like a different energy.
Same.
I was so excited.
You have to come back in with
us.
Yeah,
I think he needed this the way we needed it. I mean, because at this point, I think it was healthy for us to figure out how to do this on our own so he can go find how to truly help us. You know what I mean? Because him as an engineer isn't really what we need. Mark's brain? Mark's got so many ideas. He can't be just stuck in engineering role.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's not. This dude is. We about to do talk about the sports podcast later, the basketball podcast later. But nah, I'm about to put him on camera.
Sneak peek.
Mark, get in front of the camera so they can see your face because you're gonna be here in a minute.
Right
there. Put it on. It's camera one. Camera one. Get a little. Come on, man. Act right. Oh, we're gonna teach him how this works.
Please sit.
We're gonna teach Mark how this works. If y'all don't know, this is my guy Mark right here. All right.
So this is why Kobe's the greatest ever.
Oh boy, you guys are getting the preview. All right, you can't be the greatest when you act like someone else. But This is our guy, Mark. You guys don't know, it's none of y'all business, but he goes through things as well. And we are a team. And when he's here, it's a different energy. In the last couple months, he hasn't been here handling his business. You know what I mean? So it's awesome when he's here. The energy is different, and we're a family. So we're grateful to be here. This is our therapy. So now we got our other piece of our team here. So, thank you again, Mark. We appreciate you. We love you. You know that.
Love you both.
I slap somebody around for you.
Same for you.
Yeah.
And too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And the kids.
You. Yeah, my babies.
That's family now too.
Yeah, because soon you'll have yours, and we'll be able to. Yeah.
It'll be great.
We'll
That's
slap your
super.
kids around too. You can slap ours too.
You're right. Lincoln don't play that.
Good.
He's a gangster. He's a gangster. Hey, so Lizzy, come this way so they can see all three of us. So yeah. So listen. Thank you guys once again. Nope, I don't like that. Thank you guys once again for tuning in with us. We hope we helped you. We hope we entertained you. Keep coming back. This is a big deal. I'm not knocking nobody, but I watch a lot of these podcasts, and I don't think they're doing what we're doing wholeheartedly. So stay tuned. Once again, subscribe, find us on social media, or as I like to say, on the internets, on the different internets. We're on Marriage for Grown Folks TikTok, Marriage for Grown Folks Facebook, Marriage for Grown Folks IG. Holler at us, drop us a line, say something nice, all right? Love y'all. We gone.
See y'all.